It was raining the night I met the stranger. Not the soft kind of rain that feels peaceful. This was the kind that made the streets empty and the city feel abandoned. I was sitting inside a small cafe near the corner of Brook Street, trying to finish my coffee before heading home. The clock on the wall read 10:56 p.m. The cafe was almost empty, only the barista behind the counter and a young couple near the window. Then the door opened. A man walked in slowly. He was wearing a long black coat and his hair was wet from the rain. He looked around the cafe and then his eyes stopped on me. For some reason that made me uncomfortable. He walked directly to my table. "Mind if I sit here?" he asked. I frowned slightly. "There are plenty of empty tables." "I know," he said calmly, "but I need to talk to you." That made me even more suspicious. "Do I know you?" The man pulled out the chair and sat down anyway. "No," he said, "but I know you." I stared at him. "That's not creepy at all." He smiled slightly. "You're Michael Carter. You're 32 years old. You work as an accountant. And tonight you're planning to go home and watch a movie you've already seen twice." My stomach tightened. "How do you know that?" The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he picked up the sugar packet from the table and slowly turned it in his fingers. "I know a lot of things," he said quietly. "Like what?" "Like the fact that in exactly 4 minutes, the lights in this cafe will go out." I leaned back in my chair. "Is this some kind of joke?" The man looked at the clock on the wall. 3 minutes. I shook my head. "Look, if you're trying to impress me, it's not working." 2 minutes, he said calmly. The barista behind the counter was humming softly while cleaning cups. Everything looked normal. I crossed my arms. "You're crazy." The stranger smiled. 1 minute. Suddenly the lights flickered. Then the entire cafe went dark. The couple near the window gasped. "Hey!" the barista shouted. "What happened to the power?" A few seconds later, the emergency lights turned on. The cafe was now glowing in dim red light. My heart started beating faster. I slowly looked back at the stranger. "How did you know that?" He leaned back in his chair. "Because I've seen it before." "What do you mean?" "I mean, tonight has already happened." I laughed nervously. "Okay, that's impossible." "Is it?" "Yes." The stranger leaned forward. "Then let me tell you something else." "What?" "In 10 seconds, the man at the table by the window will drop his phone." I turned to look at the couple. The man was holding his phone in his hand while talking. 10, the stranger whispered. 9, I rolled my eyes. 8, 7, 6, my stomach tightened. 5, 4, 3, 2. The man's phone slipped from his hand and hit the floor with a loud crack. The couple both looked down in shock. My mouth slowly opened. "No way." The stranger looked at me calmly. "Do you believe me now?" I stared at him. "What are you?" He smiled slightly. "A warning." "A warning about what?" He leaned closer. "About tonight." My voice became quieter. "What happens tonight?" The stranger looked toward the cafe door. "You leave here in about 10 minutes. So? You walk down Brook Street." "Yeah." "Then you cross the road." "And?" "And that's when the truck hits you." My heart stopped. "That's not funny." "I'm not joking." "You're lying." "Am I?" My hand started shaking. "How do you know that?" The stranger looked at the rain outside the window. "Because I watched it happen." "When?" "Earlier tonight." "That makes no sense." "It will." I stood up. "Okay, I'm leaving." "Go ahead." I grabbed my jacket. "If you're trying to scare me, it's not working." The stranger didn't move. "I'm not trying to scare you." "Then what are you doing?" "I'm trying to save you." I laughed nervously. "From an imaginary truck?" "Yes." I walked toward the cafe door. "Good luck with your crazy predictions." "Michael!" the stranger called out. I stopped. "What?" "If you walk out that door right now, you'll die in 2 minutes." I hesitated. My hand rested on the door handle. My mind was racing. This was ridiculous. But what if he was right? I turned back. You're messing with my head. Maybe. Or maybe you're telling the truth. Why would you help me? I asked. The stranger looked down at the table. Because someone helped me once. I slowly walked back to the table. Explain. He took a deep breath. 3 years ago, I was sitting in a cafe just like this. And a stranger walked up to me and told me I was about to die. And you believed him? No. What happened? The stranger looked me directly in the eyes. I walked outside. My chest tightened. And a car crashed into the sidewalk. Did you die? No. Then what happened? He smiled faintly. I woke up 10 minutes earlier, back inside the cafe. My mind struggled to understand. You're saying time reset? Yes. And you remembered it? Every second. That's impossible. That's what I thought too. So why are you here? Because tonight, the same thing is about to happen to you. I sat down slowly. You're telling me I'm stuck in some kind of time loop? Not yet. What do you mean? You only enter the loop if you die. A cold chill ran down my spine. And if I don't die, then the loop never begins. I looked at the door again. So all I have to do is stay inside? Yes. For how long? 5 minutes. That's it? That's it. The rain outside grew heavier. Thunder echoed in the distance. I checked the clock. 11:03 p.m. 3 more minutes, the stranger said. My heart was pounding. Tell me something, I said. What? How do you know all this? The stranger didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked at me with a strange expression. Because I was you once. My eyes widened. What? He leaned forward. I'm you. From the future. I stared at him in shock. That's insane. Maybe. But it's also true. Prove it. He smiled slightly. You broke your arm when you were 12 falling from a bicycle. My breath caught. You never told anyone, but you still keep the old watch your father gave you before he died. My throat felt dry. How do you know that? Because I lived it. I leaned back in the chair, stunned. So if you're me, then why come back? He looked at the clock. Because this is the moment everything changes. How? If you die tonight, you spend the next 30 years trapped repeating the same day. My heart nearly stopped. 30 years? Yes. And if I stay inside? Then the loop ends before it begins. The clock ticked loudly on the wall. 11:04 p.m. 1 more minute, he said. I watched the second hand move. 30 seconds. 20. 10. 5. Then the stranger smiled. It's over. At that exact moment, outside the cafe, a loud crash echoed through the street. I ran to the window. A large truck had slammed into the sidewalk, exactly where I would have been walking. My legs felt weak. I turned back toward the table, but the stranger was gone. Only one thing remained on the table. My old watch. The same one my father gave me. And engraved on the back were 3 words.